Well, 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 well. It just got real interesting. Real interesting. Real interesting. More interesting than anything I had ever even thought remotely possible, if you can even believe that. I want you to sit back and I want you to remember this moment. And if you are someone who likes to see President Trump do well, today is that day. There are very few things that really confound me, as you can imagine. I understand a lot of stuff, and I'm always trying to tell my dear friends who are not in the biz, you know, you're taking this thing a little bit to heart differently. You're reading too much into this. It's not really what you think. It's not, you know, Alvin Bragg is not this and that, and no. What happened yesterday was the jaw dropper of jaw droppers. I can't figure this one out. Nobody can figure this one out. How does this even remotely happen? How does this remotely happen? Now, before we begin, let me tell you something, because I'm taking time out of my day. And I don't normally like to do this, but I'm going to start off. If you don't subscribe to this channel, if you don't affirmatively say, okay, I'm going to do this, and why people don't, I have no idea. Because you love this, you need this, you watch this later. More people watch it later on because they come into this and they say, you know, this is pretty good. You know, this is pretty doggone good. And it is good. Because I've been treating you like an adult. I don't say things just to say things. I'm not cliched. And sometimes that's bothered you. Sometimes you wanted cliched. Sometimes you liked it. You like to say, you know, to yell MAGA every 5 minutes, or MAGA, whatever, wherever you're from. I don't do that. When the president makes a mistake, I tell you. The way he does stuff, if I think it's boneheaded, I tell you. And a lot of people didn't like that. So when I tell you something that's good, you should believe me. And you should subscribe to this channel. Okay? And like this. Because they don't like me. Because I don't fit into any of the slots. What happened yesterday is so mind-boggling regarding Michael Cohen. I don't even know where to start. I just did a brand new piece on my private channel at lionelmedia.com. And I went through it, and I'm going to go through it with you. I went through it far more colorfully. And that does not mean profane or anything like that. It just means a little bit more in detail. But I want to read you a letter. Let me bring you up to speed. And whenever I ask questions of people, I said, do you know what President Trump technically is being charged with? Do you know what President Trump is looking at? Do you know the way to San Jose? No. Do you know? Most people say, oh, yeah. And I say, well, what is it? He's the best president? You really don't know. Because most people, frankly, live in a world of cliches. First, we don't know what he's being charged with. Let me go through the litany of what he's looking at. Number one, I think the worst case, and most people don't know about this. I don't know why. There was a sexual battery case alleged at the civil level by E. Jean Carroll in the Southern District of New York. It's a federal case, civil case. And they're going to have two accusers, in addition to her, basically corroborate her claims. Similar bad acts, we used to call them Williams Rule stuff. This is not good. It's civil. It's not. There's no jail involved. So that's number one. Number two, in Georgia we have the Stop the Steal case, which is a series of grand jury moments. We have a crazy, remember that crazy grand juror? And people love to just say, oh, it doesn't really matter. Don't do that. You do a disservice when you say, oh, don't worry about that. Okay, but that's the second one. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, Jack Smith. Jack Smith is investigating number 3 and 4 concomitantly. Number 3 would be the January 6th, perhaps seditious conspiracy and others, which is a very, very, very serious charge. One of these rioters was hit with that and convicted. That's seditious conspiracy and others. And the other one is the Mar-a-Lago documents case. Now that's another serious one. That's very cut and dry. And you may say, but wait a minute. It's no big deal. It doesn't really matter. It does matter. Yeah, but Biden had documents. It doesn't matter. That's not a defense. Hey, how come you're stopping me, officer? Other people are speeding. Yeah, but I got you. Okay, that's 4, right? 5 is this case in New York. And 6 is a crazy investigation with Tish James for Trump overvaluing or valuing property and the like, which is absurd. Just patently absurd. Okay, now, let's talk about this. What is Alvin Bragg actually charging? We don't know. We think it was this falsified business statute in New York. We think. Why? Because he's going before a grand jury. Grand juries are secret, supposedly. Or as people say, supposedly. So we don't know. We think that's it. There's 2 considerations. Number 1, if it's a misdemeanor, the statute of limitations has run. It's gone. If you can take that misdemeanor and make it felonious, kind of bootstrap, lard on some other facts to it, and make it a felony, then maybe you might have some time there. And what you need to show is that these business records, or these falsified reports, these records, were done in order to hide a crime. What was the crime? Who in the hell knows? You got this? You got this? Now, you could say, well, it doesn't matter because you don't know anything. Could there be an election? Well, that changed yesterday. Now, Alvin Bragg, I'm trying to be fair, doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He has never been in the limelight. He's like Tish James. You ever see Tish James? Tish James sounds like the beginning. Remember the beginning of Proud Mary? We're going to take the beginning of the song and start off nice and easy. That's Tish James. The prosecution of the Trump family. It's like, what are you talking about? She's very, very, and the ramification. You know, kind of a very, very, very breathy, and anyway. Well, in this case, we have something interesting. We have this Alvin Bragg, who just never really, nobody knew kind of who he was. And he seemed like, okay, Harvard law grad, which used to mean something, but bless his heart. And nobody really knew what he was. He was just like, oh, one of those Soros people. Yeah. And most people say, who's Soros? Well, he's that billionaire. Who wants to do what again? Well, he wants to, he finances and funds the campaigns of weak social leftist. Is that against the law? No, it's not against the law. But he's Soros. Okay, but well, what does he do? Well, Gascon, the Philly, what was his name? Kasner, the Philly DA, the state attorney in Hillsborough County. That the best thing, and Ron DeSantis has my absolute respect for this. As the governor of Florida, he was the first person ever to basically say, no, I'm not going to wait for recall. I'm going to recall you. The cojones this guy had were elephantine. God bless him for that. So anyway, here's Alvin Bragg. Now, a couple of things here. I don't know this for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody, either Trump or somebody around him, says, hey, I got an idea. You go out and say, I got the word they're gonna arrest me on Tuesday. I got the word. They're going to arrest me. What if Alvin Bragg said, who said that? Trump said that. Wait a minute, we're still in the middle of the grand jury. What's he talking about? I don't know. Well, I got to put out a press statement. What kind of a press? Well, well, what are you going to say? We're not going to arrest him? Well, we're not going to arrest him yet. Do you know whether you're going to arrest him? Well, I don't know. I'm not done with the grand jury yet. Remember what the grand jury is. A grand jury is a bunch of people who meet. Sometimes federal grand jury is like forever. Up to 18 months. It's not every day, but you get to know each other. You meet, hi, George, how are you? It's not a jury. It's a grand jury. Trial juries are a petty, P-E-T-I-T, petty jury. Smaller juries. Very quiet, more, whatever. This is more, hey, how are you? I remember one time there was a federal grand jury, I heard later on, where the main prosecutor, who was assigned to the grand jury, had a baby, and they had a shower. I mean, they're friends. And the prosecutor comes out, and basically, as the great Saul Walkler said, can get a grand jury to indict a ham sandwich. It's what the prosecutor says. If the facts are good, the grand jury is going to come back with an indictment. What do they need? Probable cause. Do you get to hear the defendant? No. What? It's just the prosecutor. So if you're the grand jury. And Donald Trump, ooh, boo, quiet. Donald Trump had sex, they allege, with Dusty Saddles, or whatever her name is. Some chanteuse, some stripper, some porn star. And he bought her off with hush money. Hush, little baby. Oh, you're going to cry. Is that illegal? Well, no. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So then he denied it. Denied it to his wife. Well, that's not against the law. Doesn't matter. So he got this guy Cohen. He got Michael Cohen saying, hey, listen, Michael, I want you to pay her off. How am I going to do that? Here's what you do. You pay her off from your account. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reimburse you later on. I'm going to reimburse you. So you pay her. Because I'm right in the middle of this campaign. I don't want, and plus I don't want my wife to find out. Because I'm a dirty philanderer. I'm this rake, this roue. I'm this horrible person by the name of Donald Trump. I have sex with women and I strewn about. Remember that McDougal? Remember her? She was paid off by, what was his name, Pecker? Do the math. National Enquirer? She's not in this, but she was not a... By the way, NDAs, as you know, are done all the time. It doesn't matter. And the jury's like, oh my God. So what he did was, we have this thing in New York called a falsified business statute. And then he did it so that he could actually be committing election error, election violations. And even though it's not a New York law, I mean, what was that? No, it's not a New York law. Well, what is it? Well, it's a federal law. Well, shouldn't the feds be doing this? Well, yeah, but they're busy. So we're going to base our law, our statute, which says he violated, step one, falsified business records, but with the intent to cover up a crime or to hide and conceal a crime or to further a crime. And what was that crime? It was a federal crime. Now, technically speaking, maybe somewhere, if you blow off the dust from the law books, here's something in New York that maybe, why? Well, you see, if he keeps this woman's mouth shut, please, if he keeps this woman's mouth shut, that will benefit his campaign. It will also benefit his marriage. Shut up. So maybe this is an in-kind contribution, and that's the violation which we use to bootstrap the misdemeanor, and therefore the statute of limitations has not elapsed. Now, if you're a prosecutor and you even begin one sentence of that, you're done. I want a case like this. A case I can say on a bumper sticker. The defendant robbed, he killed, he murdered, he raped. However, in this case, he falsified results with the intention of... No. So anyway, in the meantime, they're saying, what do we do? Al, you got to do something. Alvin, do something. What am I going to do? There are people in front of Trump Tower. There are people downtown. You've got to tell people that you're not going to be indicting him on Tuesday. Yeah, but maybe I am. But wait a minute. Somebody could get hurt. You got this guy walking around with the helmet, with the horns and the face and this one, and then you put these people together and they go crazy. Not only that, sometimes you get people to kind of give them a push. Is this going to be a January 6th thing kind of? Alvin, you got to do something. What am I going to do? Here's what you do. Get on TV and say, if there is an arrest or whatever, it's not going to be in the public, and it will be done, the arraignment, remotely. It'll be done via Zoom. Hell, you can... They arraign people in hospital rooms. Remember the one where the guy's handcuffed to the bed? You've seen this. You can do whatever you want. Al Bragg says, oh, no way. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to do that. Hell no. No, we're doing this. I want a perp walk. You can't do a perp walk. Why? Because of the Secret Service. He's the freaking ex-president. Not only that, you risk the lives of people. God forbid there's some lunatic and you're going to walk. No, you're not. Alvin, please do the arraignment. Tell him there's not going to be anything in public. You're not going to do some Rudy Giuliani, Michael Chertoff perp walk. Remember with Boski and Milken and John Gotti turned himself. I mean, for God's sakes, what are you talking about? No. Now, was Alvin Bragg acting on his own? Does he say, oh, no, this is a chance for my close-up Mr. DeMille. You're not going to take that. Are you kidding me? I'm Alvin Bragg. They didn't even know who the hell I was. They're going to know me now. Alvin, you can't do this. Somebody's going to get hurt. Court personnel. Look at all these people. They've got families. Why are you doing this? If you tell people, everybody go home, there ain't going to be no perp walk. There ain't going to be no nothing. This is about justice. Isn't about theater. What? This is about justice, not theater. Maybe for you. So already Alvin Bragg is thinking, what are you? If somebody gets hurt, Alvin, it's your name on it. This isn't about, what is this? What are you doing? So that's step one. Number two, he says, I'm not even done with the grand jury yet. But here's the best one. Yesterday, somewhere, out of nowhere, comes the following. And like I said, I just did a brand new, you can subscribe at lionelmedia.com. I did a rather thorough version of this. But let me read to you this letter, this surprise Perry Mason moment that absolutely guarantees the president an acquittal. This is just, you cannot believe what you're seeing. The surprise Perry Mason moment that guarantees President Trump a victory against the collapsed Alvin Bragg. Listen to this. February the 8th, 2018. Follow me on this one. This letter comes to Mr. Cohen's then lawyer, Stephen M. Ryan. And it reads as follows. This is a letter to the Federal Election Commission. To a Mr. Jordan. Okay? Dear Mr. Jordan, I am writing on behalf of my client, Michael D., short for Michael D. Cohen, in response to your letter dated January 30th, 2018. Specifically, This letter responds to the complaint numbered, which was filed with the Federal Election Commission by Common Cause and Paul S. Ryan. In a private transaction in 2016, before the U.S. presidential election, Mr. Cohen, Michael Cohen, used his own personal funds to facilitate a payment of $130 U.S. to Ms. Stephanie Clifford, a.k.a. Dusty Saddles. Now, neither the Trump organization nor the Trump campaign was a party to the transaction with Ms. Clifford, and neither reimbursed by Mr. Michael Cohen for the payment directly or indirectly. Contrary to the allegations in the complaint, which are entirely speculative, neither Mr. Cohen nor Essential Consultants, LLC, made any in-kind contributions to Donald J. Trump for president or any other presidential campaign committee. Mr. Cohen has not been a government employee during any of the relevant time period. The payment in question does not constitute a campaign contribution or expenditure, and therefore the FEC lacks jurisdiction over this matter. Do you know what this means? Do you have any idea? Do you have any, are you able to grasp? Are you able to dig deep into your soul and understand what this means? Do you? Do you have any idea? No, you don't. No. Because I don't even know where to start. It's like, number one, Al, yes. Alvin, yes. Alvin! It's like remember the chipmunks? Alvin, you talk to everybody, yes? Oh, yes. Jim Jordan says you were talking to the DOJ. Yeah, I was talking to the DOJ. Which is okay. I mean, let's face it, you can do whatever you want. It's kind of shady, but go ahead. Now, you talk to the DOJ, yep. You talk to the FEC. He had Lanny Davis. Lanny Davis, hot shot, big shot, Democratic. This is the big Lanny Davis. Oh, my God. So, despite all of this, and good luck trying to figure out, now, Michael Cohen went to prison because or is sentenced to prison because of this stuff. Okay. But he writes, they say under oath, apparently, he didn't do this. Then you've got this Robert Costello, who basically, and this is weird, a little time out here. This is Cohen's former lawyer who says he's a liar. He paced up and down in the conference room. He said, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to jump out of the window of the Regency Hotel. Wait a minute. What kind of lawyer does it? I don't care what a prior client said. If I don't like them, if they're crazy, I'm not going to go on Fox News and say, and by the way, he's crazy and he's a liar. I say, wait a minute. Well, I've got this here. I've got this, this waiver. I say, wait a minute. Why are you destroying? What if he's got other cases pending? Why are you doing? That's for other people to decide, but that was weird. Okay, you got that one. In this case, you've got another lawyer. Now, he's not, I don't know where he is, but this is Stephen Ryan, who was the counsel for Michael Cohen, who was with the firm of McDermott, Will, and Emery. Now, the question I have is, Alvin Bragg, yeah, did you know about this? Did you know about this? Did you talk to Mr. Ryan? Yeah. Is this true? Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing? How does this even work? How are you doing this? How do you plan on going before the jury and say, now follow this? Follow me here. Michael Cohen is a liar. Well, sort of. Well, yeah, but. Yeah, well, yeah. Where do you believe him? Where do you not? There's an old line. Everybody used to do this in court. It's so old. It's like in a deposition. Now, Mr. Johnson, you said that on this particular date, you were wearing a red hat, and then you said you were wearing a blue hat. Mr. John said, were you lying then, or are you lying now? You know, that kind of thing. It's old. Everybody's heard that a million times. But with this one, I can't figure it out. This is their main witness. This is the link. This is the link to putting Donald Trump. Now, everybody says, well, he's not facing any jail time here. Not in New York court. It's a, first time. Wait a minute. Hold it. What? What was this? Well, it's not a, Could a judge put him in jail? Yeah. Now, the accountant got 5 months, but that was a plea deal. But there's no judge. Excuse me, in New York County. What? You think you want to bet on that? Probably not, but I don't know. So right now, Alvin Bragg is thinking, what happened? And Trump, who is crazy and brilliant, but crazily brilliant, he said, I want you to here, put the cuffs on me. I want to be photographed. No. Oh, yes. No. What did I tell you? You don't want people to see you handcuffed. But if you are, don't hide it. Don't put, like Jimmy Hoffa when he went to prison, he put that coat over him. Come on. I'm just walking here with it's 80 degrees, but I have this blanket over my wrists get cold. Yeah, okay. Right. Why are you doing this? But it forces the hand. And Alvin Bragg, Al, come on. We got Joy Behar here. We got Whoopi so excited she's flatulating all over the place. Everybody's going crazy. Come on, where is it? Let's go. We got the memes and the Photoshop, and we're down here, and we're all the buskers and the we're all, come on, they're ready to go. The trucks and the camera. I don't know where this came from. I didn't say anything. Trump said that. I'm not even done. And now, I don't know what to do with this. How do I say? Do you go back to the grand jury and say, listen, hey guys. You know how everybody says now on YouTube, hey guys, here's a great way to sharpen pencils. Hey guys. So, hey guys, maybe, I forgot to tell you something. I don't know what slipped my mind. There was this letter, and it seems that there's this lawyer, another lawyer, who says that, and he's willing to testify to get his arse out of a ring, and I guess he would have to certainly waive, another waiver. Mr. Ryan, who told you this? Michael Cohen said it. Michael Cohen told you that he paid it? Yeah. Well, that's not what he's saying now. I don't know what he's saying now, but that's not what he told me. So who's... Now, you want me to... Let me switch this around. Let's pretend that instead of this being, Alvin Bragg, it's Rudy Giuliani's the prosecutor. And instead of Donald Trump, it's Joe Biden or Hunter Biden. Now, they would first of all be screaming. They would be calling for a federal investigation. They'd be calling for his bar ticket and everything because they violated Brady versus Maryland. Brady against Maryland. Brady material is exculpatory information. And if I don't turn this over to you as a prosecutor, I'm toast. If I know that that there was a lineup, or we did a photo pack or one of these things, and I have a witness who says they don't remember you, or they picked out the wrong person, if I've got something that that could help your defense and I don't give it to you, I'm dead. I'm dead. I mean, this is a serious business. How long did you know about this? Mr. Bragg, you've got the Manhattan DAs office. You've got investigator upon investigator. You've had all the time in the world. You know and I know. This was fed to you by so many people. You had so many theories thrown at you. Come on. You, Cy Vance, you have 2 prosecutors, I believe, who quit in protest after you, so you know all about this. Where did this come from? Is this legitimate? Is it authenticated? Is anybody contesting the accuracy of this? Is anybody saying there's no such law firm? Who is this? This guy? No, this is somebody photoshopped. I'm not hearing that, because that's the only way that could invalidate this. What were you doing? How do you not know this? The facts of the case, this Michael Cohen, and I'm not saying he is the liar per se, but the story keeps switching. Remember what I told you before. Remember what I said. If you're going to be a prosecutor, you want a charge that says, the defendant killed that nun, stabbed that old lady, robbed the store. One sentence, 2 words, 3, bumper sticker. Not, and this defendant falsified business records by claiming to cover up a marital indiscretion and then having Michael Cohen reimburse it as an in-kind what? Terrible case. This is the first case. You know who's sitting back thinking, oh no. Jack Smith, the Georgia DA, maybe that E. Jean Carroll. Because don't forget the cases. I'm going to say this again. E. Jean Carroll with the sexual battery case, which is not good. This is a civil case, no jail, but you've got other witnesses coming in. You got that Access Hollywood tape. You got that one. You got the Georgia Stop the Steal case, that grand jury. You've got the Jack Smith with 2 cases. One is January 6th, maybe seditious conspiracy, followed by Mar-a-Lago, which is more cut and dry than you think, followed by Tish James and this. Tish James, who talks about the prosecution. She basically is claiming that Trump and his family overvalued property. Good luck with that one. See, banks have their own appraisers. Banks don't care what you value. You can, and this here is worth $1 trillion. That's right, $1 trillion. Here, have it assessed. Okay, you got that one plus this. So there's like 6 cases. So they're thinking, oh no, this is like a limited hangout. This sets the trend. This sets the mood. This sets the volume. This sets the tonality of this. Where do they even begin? Can you? I mean, just assume this goes through the cross-examination. Mr. Cohen, yeah, state your name, Michael Cohen. Mr. Cohen, I'm going to read to you. Do you know who this? Do you know who this fellow is? I'm going to read a name to you. You might not remember this, but his name is Stephen Ryan. You know who that is? That was your lawyer, wasn't it? Did you see this letter and you have it blown up? This big book. Did you say that? It says here, in a private transaction, that you use your own personal funds to facilitate a payment of $130,000 to Ms. Stephanie Clifford. Is that true? Asking you whether it's true is a bit of a stretch. Well, why did you tell your lawyer that? I don't think he came up with this. You must have shown something documented. So when did you change that story? When did you change it? I can't even. You should have like a list of the evolving, like a chameleon. These things change. Day 1 story, day 2 story. They keep changing. And Alvin Bragg will be nowhere in the courtroom. He'll give it to 2 assistants, his chief assistant, and Al will be in his office drinking heavily, thinking, what the hell? It was supposed to be so easy. Why did I give in to them? I didn't want this case. Cy Vance didn't want this case. The Department of Justice didn't want this case. Nobody wanted this case. What am I doing? Why did I have to do it? They talked me into this. Soros is busting my chops. I didn't put you in office to play softy. Okay, George, I'm doing my best, but this is come on, do it, bring it. He's doing great. Come on, he's going to clobber DeSantis. DeSantis is our guy. Come on. I can't do it. It's a dog of a game. Do it. Don't worry, it's Manhattan. Don't worry about it. Dine a ham sandwich. How tough can this be? Oh, my God. And Trump is laughing. But there's other cases, though. And this is where I'm going to tell you something. This is where I want to remind you of something. You can laugh all you want about this. That fat lady isn't even clearing her throat yet. This is nowhere even near any kind of conclusion. This is nowhere near anything even remotely close to a conclusion. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Do you hear what I'm saying? This is just part of it. They're not done with him. Let me tell you how else this works. Alvin Bragg comes across as the oafish, sorry, that's okay, Al. Oh, whatever. This is a guy who basically agrees to not prosecute, I don't know how many felonies. All right, fine. That's Al for you. What are you going to do? Okay. But during the course of this thing later on, which is even more fascinating as this develops, you're going to have other people who say, now I got to pick up the slack. Now I've got to show them how it's done. And let me tell you something. You can say whatever you want. I know people who are Trump supporters, and they just make stuff up. Oh, this is just garbage. Oh, that January. I watched Tucker. I watched Tucker, and it was as clear as day. That guy with the helmet came in with the horns. They invited him inside. There must have been 6 or 7 cops there in that video. And they could have stopped him any time. Okay. So therefore what? There was no January 6th. It never happened. Nobody was scared. Those people are saying, well, that's, what about that? Well, that's not the same. You keep pointing to this one. That's fine. That's great. And I think you have a good time. And I don't even know why this guy pled guilty, but who knows? So they have these, you create in your own, vacuum this idea that January 6th was nothing. You may think it's nothing. Read the insurrection statute, which nobody was charged with, but seditious conspiracy, oh my God. That is so, it's just. And when you say things like, and I want you to go down, and why Trump even there's no way he incited riots or anything, but why he doesn't learn, I don't know. I think part of it is because for the longest time in his life, he's been involved in so much litigation. He figures, I'm just bulletproof. They just can't get me. I'm Donald Trump, and maybe that's it. Or he's got some bad advice, some yes men. I have no idea. But I can only tell you that as far as this first case, and the first question I'm going to ask that trial judge is, Mr. Bragg, how long did you know about this? Do you know what it would be like if a prosecutor has information which basically we had to run rap sheets on our witnesses to give to the defense so that because they don't have access to rap sheets. We had to basically say, here's our first witness. Here's everything there is to know about him. He's a real, Why? Because that's Brady. Exculpatory. It is imperative. Now, Rudy Giuliani, they want to take his ticket. They went after Sidney Powell. That other one had a bit of a rebuke, I think in Colorado, wherever it was. They just wanted nothing but, they sanctioned them for bringing lawsuits. Sidney Powell, okay, she's full of beans, went a little nuts with this stuff. Dominion's another case, we'll talk about that, but okay, fine. But you've got, wait a minute, This? You mean to tell me that you had evidence that was exculpatory, that benefited the defense of Trump, and you didn't know this? And you're going to go after Sidney Powell for being a little bit, shall we say, irrationally exuberant in the appraisal of her case? There's no justice here. Oh. Rudy Giuliani, you want to go after? Poor guy. There was no, but none of these lawyers, excuse me, Mr. Bragg, did you know about this? Is there anything else any other surprises? Anything else? Anything else? Something you're not telling us? Because let me tell you something. Look at me. We live in a different world today. We live in a world of social media scrums. And they love, oh God, do they love to pillory somebody. They love it. And they don't care if it's Alvin Bragg or Bragg's amino. By the way, I like that Bragg apple cider vinegar and the essential aminos and all this. Anyway, they don't care who you are, Bragg or doesn't matter. Fort Bragg, Alvin Bragg. But Fort Bragg, I think Alvin Bragg should change his name because after all, it's reminiscent of a Confederate soldier. So, Mr. Bragg, change your name. In any event, they're going to turn on him. And he is going to be, he's nowhere to be found. He's nowhere to be found. And there's all kinds of stuff outside. Like, there's chaos in the DA's office. Chaos in court officials saying, you're going to hurt somebody. Alvin, this is supposed to be easy. What are you doing? They're talking about you. He's nowhere to be found. Quiet. He's just he sends out, emails to his staff. We will not be intimidated. Well, and once it's like, wait a minute, this is great. And then the memes start. And then you bring out even another Al. You bring out Al Dershowitz, who, by the way, says nothing but the obvious. Al says what everybody else says, but repackages it. He's very good, by the way. He's very, very good. We don't have moments like this. You don't have these moments. In my LionelMedia.com private account, I told you about one little smoking gun I had that I still can't believe that ever happened in court in an attempted murder case. It's very rare. Normally it's very, very flat out, very, But this? What do you do with Michael Cohen? What are you going to do with him? Which Michael Cohen do you want to believe? And the best part is this, Stormy Saddles or whatever. She's thinking, this can't be happening. And excuse me, remember she had to pay him. Remember the old joke was that Trump's such a great negotiator, he has sex with a woman, and there's a word that sometimes is associated with that, but whatever. And she ends up paying him, which is interesting. $300 to pay for his legal fees. So isn't he, is he being extorted? What's going on here? Now what happens is, let me also say something to you. People are saying, and when you hear that, that's as sympathetic as they're going to get for Trump. There are three groups of people. I've told you this from the beginning. People who love Trump, people who hate Trump, and in the middle, there's this group of independent, undecided, I know how they could be, I have no idea, but they're independent folks from, toss-up states and battleground states. And if you get somebody to say, you know what, this Trump, this is lousy. Elon Musk, I'm sorry, is out of his mind if you think Trump's going to win. It's like, well, by God, I'm going to vote for him. Well, he was accused of something by by Michael Cohen and that other one. And, well, that's unfair. Well, you know what? I'm going to vote for him. I wasn't going to vote for him before because, remember, the people who are already there are going to vote for him, right, no matter what, pro or against. So in the middle, you think anybody's going to become and embrace the Trump message because of this? What are you, nuts? Wait a minute, he got another charge? Well, I'm going to double vote for him. What? He's got 6 pending cases. 6? Sign me up. Bring him in. What are you talking about? And you haven't heard. Wait till that Access Hollywood business comes in. Oh, you're not going to like what you hear. But that's down the road. That's the political part of this. But this is important. Now, Mr. Trump, I know you're not going to, I know you're not going to listen to me. You're going to gloat. You're going to call somebody a horse face, maybe make fun of Mr. Bragg's weight or something. I know you. I know what you do. And your argument is that, well, it got me president. Well, different time right now. But if you're interested in my advice, the best thing for you to do is that when you're winning, when the momentum is in your favor, just talk about it generically. Say something like, is this fair? Imagine this were you. Imagine we believe in the Constitution. We believe in being fair. Brady against Maryland mandates that every court, that every prosecutor turn over exculpatory evidence. Am I different? Do I not apply? Does the Constitution not? You know what? You're right. Don't make any references as to facial expressions, weight. Don't. You don't have to. You're winning. You're winning. Try it once. Be like this real, like you're just offended. You're offended. And look at what they've done to all these people. There has been a double. I don't understand this. And meanwhile, many people are asking the question, what about the other cases? What about Joe Biden's documents found in his garage? What about these new allegations regarding China and the Biden family? Is this a, quote, distraction? I love that. There are people who always believe everything's a distraction. Well, it is a distraction because we have the attention span of a gnat, and Americans can't understand this. Stick with this one for a while. This is something so incredibly, I don't know what the word is. I could not, I looked at this yesterday, I thought, no, I can't. I must be reading this wrong. No, this can't be authentic. No, this can't be. This cannot possibly be. No. They have a what? A letter? No. Yes. No. Yes. Really? Yes. They have a letter. Why didn't they know about this? I don't know. Now, I have spent some time, and I want you to do me a favor, because I've been here with you for 48 minutes out of my own, because I love you. This is my new channel here, right here, Lionel Legal. And I'm having the time of my life. I'll never forget one time. I had the opportunity to watch a baseball game with retired Major League Baseball people. And I'm listening to them talk. And it's nothing that you hear civilians say. They're saying things and pointing things out that I never thought was important. I never knew. It's like to hear Shaq or Scottie Pippen talk about defending the post and things that I know how this works once you're in this scrum, once you're inside it. It's this pretty stable, it's like, I don't want to say it's like a house made of, not IKEA. IKEA's got good stuff, but think of a furniture company that it's not as sturdy as you would think. It takes, this chair may break. Anything can bring down this house. That's what a courtroom is. once you start, little things come up and you think, hey, what's the big deal? Witness doesn't show up. Witness gets sick. Witness is caught lying. Witness gets arrested. And I've seen this all the time. Every time you have a witness, anytime, I always made it a point. Let's walk in. I want to show you what the courtroom looks like. So when you walk in, there's nothing worse than that. So where am I going? You're going to walk in here. Here's the door. There's the chair. There's the judge. Jury's here. So it's like, okay. There's nothing worse than somebody comes in like this. He looks like shady. It's like, what is this? Because you never thought about that, did you? It's like there are radio shows and podcasts who say, I'm going to put this person on. And they suck. But no, you don't understand. This person was on Fox News, or this person wrote a book, or this. He's terrible. Did you talk to him before? No. This is a podcast. What are you doing? Well, you mean some people are bad guests? Yes. Yeah, but he wrote a book. I don't care if he wrote the Bible. What are you doing? There are some people who come across, they're just so unbelievably weird. Then you see these witnesses who testify who are great. You can't imagine this. I'll never forget one time, years ago, there was a story about a kid, because there's no age as far as when kids can testify. An embryo could testify if the child understands, can communicate, saw what was happening, was basic competence, but had to swear under oath. And you don't have to swear, but you have to be able to swear or affirm. So the judge asked this little girl one time, now, Megan, yes. Do you know what a promise is? She says, yes. A promise is like a mirror. You can't break it. Oh, convict them now. There are times in courtrooms when somebody was, and do you see the person in court today? Yes. May I approach the witness? Or the defendant? Well, yeah, but don't, because you can't get close to people. Like on TV, they always have people, like, you're leaning on this. No. But every now and then somebody will walk up and you'll say, well, only if you want to get a better look. When you walk up and you say, look at the jury, him. As opposed to, yes, do you see the person in the courtroom? Yes, he's over there. What is he wearing? Checkered. Let the record reflect the defendant's been identified. Okay. Is that him? Yes, him. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. So that's it right now. Follow me. Now, I have spent, because this means so much and this is so important, I've spent this amount of time, and I want to mention our sponsors, and the information of them is contained herein in the description section. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Get a free gift. I know it's tautological, but it's nonetheless. Promo code Lionel, MyPillow.com. PrepareWithLionel.com. This is the My Patriot Supply. This is a 3-month emergency food supply at a value they haven't seen since 2019. Emergency food, the best in the business. PrepareWithLionel.com. Number 3, Z-Stack. Look at the link. Very simple. Vitamin C, zinc, D3, which is really a hormone, not really a vitamin. It's a miracle elixir. And quercetin, a flavonoid, antioxidant of the nuclear quality. Every single day you should have this. And finally, by the way, the link's here. Links in the description section. And finally, this is very important. EMP Shield, electromagnetic pulse shield, to protect your home, your family, your car. American made, Midwestern, veteran-owned. They're there in the description sections. Please, they sponsor us. We thank them. We are indebted. Great products, great people, as are you. Now, my friends, we're going to be talking more about this. I want you to understand something. This is not about, President Trump. No. This is about the system. This is about the system. And I believe in it. And it's very, very simple. If President Trump or Eddie Trump or whoever it is not accorded due process, then nobody is. Nobody is. Play by the rules. Do what you must. You might overcharge. You might be unfair, whatever that is. You might charge somebody that nobody's been charged with. Those aren't good reasons. Those might be policy reasons. But to deny somebody exculpatory evidence rights under Brady against Maryland, to risk the lives of people when you don't have to do this, when you could have a virtual arraignment, but you wouldn't have the perp walk and you wouldn't have that great political moment. And when you put your own name, your own reputation, your own fanfare, your own razzmatazz over the safety of citizens, no. This case stinks to high end. Remember, there are others. We'll talk about those. And I pledge to you, I will tell you the truth. I will tell you if they're good or bad. But this case is a dog. It could very well, assuming it withstands everything, and there is an indictment, and it may not even survive post-arraignment. It may be killed in motions, not to mention appeals and others. Statute of limitations. The case is a dog. Remember, feds didn't want it. Cy Vance didn't want it, his predecessor. Alvin Bragg didn't want it until the pressure. Okay? I want to thank you. Give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself, and one more time, I want you to go to, remember, Lionel Legal, right here on YouTube. Lionel Legal. And let me also tell you something. Last night, Mrs. L and I were out. She was out tending to parents and citizens as part of her Lynn's Warriors moment. And she was superb. Please follow her at Lynn's Warriors on Twitter. Lynn's, Lynns, _Warriors. Please, that's the link. She is beyond incredible. And speaking of YouTube, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that this is the Lynn's Warriors YouTube channel. Subscribe, because it's funny, everybody's talking about TikTok. She's been talking about TikTok for how many years now? Before anybody. What? 2016. Since 2016. When people were saying TikTok, she was telling you before anybody. Lynn's Warriors. All right, my dear friends, I want to thank you, not for what you are, but for what you appear to be. And that great line from Roxanne. Remember, whenever you're at a party or something, somebody says, can you give us a toast? That great line where he says, I'd rather be with you people than the finest people in the world. And I mean that sincerely. All right, my friends, we'll see you tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.